Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. This is Any Kind Media. We are your hosts. My name is Ocean Simeano.
I'm Taylor Veer.
And on this episode, we are going to bring to you our take of Amazon Prime Video's newest original movie titled Samaritan, starring Slyvester Stallone. Came out yesterday, or for us, Thursday night, but came out yesterday, and yeah, we're gonna give our take. Traditional fashion, as always. Spoiler free, score, spoilers. So if you haven't seen this movie, go ahead and stick with us, because I think we'll be able to provide the correct information in order to let you know whether or not you should watch it. So spoiler free review, Taylor. How'd you feel? What'd you think?
It was okay, I guess.
Nah, it was bad. It was bad. It was, I had a hard time watching it. I had a hard time finishing it, actually. Like,
Is it because it's just how you feel about Sylvester Stallone?
not just Sylvester Stallone. I thought the acting by everybody was pretty bad. I didn't. There may be a few side characters that I think their performances are decent. Didn't care for the story really so much. Didn't care for the relationship between Sylvester Stallone and the boy. I just did not like majority of the movie. The only thing that I will say that is going to bump its score up a little bit higher than what I would have given it before is the twist at the end, because I'll be completely honest, I didn't see it.
Yeah, neither did I.
I didn't know. So for that reason, which we'll dive into that, but for that reason I will give it a little bit higher score. But other than that, I mean, honestly, like, if it wasn't for that, I'm looking at like a 2 or 3 as far as the score goes. But for, like, if I'm giving my score right now, my score for this movie is a 4. I'm going to give it a 4 purely because of the twist at the end. That's the only reason why, because everything else, even the, like, just the, like, how things, like, the way that the world worked, and, like, laws of physics, and just all kinds of, I don't know, just this seemed to me, and I want to preface this statement with the fact that I do really like Sylvester Stallone. Like, I really like him as an actor. I love Rocky. I love Rambo. I even really liked him in what is it called? Not The Incredibles. What is it? The one where it's all the action heroes. No.
Oh, Expendables.
Expendables. God, I don't know why. I wanted to say Incredibles, but I was like, no, that's an animated movie.
Close enough.
But I even liked him in that. So I this is not me trying to attack Sylvester Stallone because I don't like him. What I will say is this movie to me felt like Sylvester Stallone wanted to, like, it was like his last wish before his acting career ended was to play a superhero. And so they kind of just threw this movie together so that he got his last wish of, I don't know if that's actually the case.
Yeah.
But that, to me, that's how I felt watching it. It just felt like he wanted to play this character, and they just kind of threw stuff together hoping it would work. And unfortunately, I don't think it did. So, I don't know. Where are you at with the score then?
My score is actually probably the same. It's just my expectations were very low, and it was actually, even though my end score is the same, it's like I don't feel as negatively about it, even though I don't think it's very good.
Yeah.
But there's like things about it that I could pick from it that I thought overall this movie could have been a lot better than it was. and it's
Yeah,
just
for sure.
they didn't want to like either they didn't want to like flush certain stories out or whatever, or like backstories, or do things. I don't know. Whatever they decided to do with the movie is it ended up being not that great, but it was actually not as bad as I was like kind of assuming it was gonna be. But it's definitely not good.
It's not a good movie. I thought going into it, I thought that this was a long shot for being a good movie, but I figured it would end up being mediocre. I felt, I thought because Sylvester Stallone is starring in it that the quality would be a little bit better, but I don't even think Sylvester Stallone's performance was that great either. Like as far as an acting performance goes, I don't think it was that great. So. I don't know. A lot of the things that I have to say about this movie, I can't really say without diving into spoilers. So, I don't want to ruin anybody's perception of this movie if you are wanting to watch it beforehand. I don't recommend it. I'll be honest. Like to me, this is one of those movies that you can just let slide, especially because it's a streaming platform movie and there's plenty of other movies to watch. Like if you haven't watched Terminal List on Amazon yet, go watch that. Or if you haven't watched The Boys or some other of the other stuff that's on Amazon Prime, I would highly recommend you go watch that instead of watching this. So yeah, like I wish I had my hour and a half back that I used to watch it the other night. So oh shit. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys feel that you want to watch it anyway because you think maybe we missed something, or you're just that much of a Sylvester Stallone fan, which I totally understand.
There's a lot of them out there.
Yeah, go ahead and give it a watch and let us know what you think. We're obviously not experts. We're not right all the time. So, let us know what you thought, and if your opinion differs from us, we'd like to hear it because maybe it might shape or differ our opinion. Shape or change our opinion. So let us know down in the comments below what you thought about this movie. So moving forward, ladies and gentlemen, this is your official
spoiler alert.
All right. I don't. Let's start with the acting. Okay. I don't think anybody really acted well in this movie. The only two people that I could maybe say acted well, even though I didn't care for their characters per se, was the tiny little dude that looked like 6'9". I don't remember his name. You know who I'm talking about? With the green and pink hair.
Oh,
yeah.
The cousin of that other gangster guy.
But he was the actor was in The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. I think it was. I don't know. But this is actually the first time I've seen him in something in a while, and I kind of was like, "Oh, damn, that's him." Didn't realize how freaking tiny he is.
Yeah.
So
I don't know who he is. So
he was tiny. I actually like, as much as I don't like that character at all. I thought the acting wasn't horrible, I guess. And the only other person that I would say the acting was all right was the main villain dude.
I don't know his name.
Cyrus, I think.
Oh yeah, his character.
Cyrus.
Yeah.
I thought, even though I don't really care for his character either, I think his acting was not bad. Wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't horrible.
Yeah, they were okay.
Outside of that, I didn't think anybody else acted well at all. I thought the boy's acting was pretty bad.
Like the main
character is pretty bad.
Stupid, but it's a kid, so
yeah. But like I can expect, and I can push past normal kid stuff, but what I can't push past is inconsistencies in like expressing emotion and volume. I guess I would say, like, he seemed like he shouted a lot. Like there's just so many times where I felt like he was shouting, and I was like, "Why are you shouting, bro? The dude is right there." I don't know. I can remember one specific time. when he got ran over by the car, when Sylvester Stallone got ran over by the car, he was like yelling at him from inside the, not on the street. And then when Sylvester Stallone got hit, he like ran over and like yelled at him, "Are you okay, bro?" And it was like, I don't know. It just detracted from the scene for me. I thought the mom was pretty hard to watch. The kid's mom.
Yeah, she was. It's weird. I literally only know her from one other show.
Orange is the New Black.
Yeah, and she's just kind of a nobody in this.
Yeah,
and she's kind of a terrible parent, I guess.
Yeah, pretty bad. Which I don't, it's probably the writing, but
that's overall, this entire movie, honestly, I feel like the weakest thing is it's just whoever wrote the screenplay. I feel like I don't think it's necessarily because there's actually like, I mean, I didn't know about that other guy, but the main villain guy, he was like, I was told he was in Game of Thrones and stuff.
Sure.
And he's been in a few things. And like I said, the mom is from, I only know her from the Orange is the New Black.
That's the only thing I know from too.
Obviously, like everybody knows him.
Yeah.
Kid is kind of a nobody. So I think they had enough actors. It's just, I feel like whoever wrote the screenplay was just like not very good at their job.
Wasn't very good at their job.
I'm not saying I could do better,
no.
But I don't know. Like I feel like they had enough to make something.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
even the concept wasn't horrible because none of the finer details of the concept between Samaritan and Nemesis, none of that we knew going into it. Like they didn't cover the fact that they were brothers and that they were just these freaks and whatnot, and they didn't cover any of that in the trailer. So like once they started talking about that, I was like, okay, you're giving a little bit of depth to the story, to the idea of these people being superheroes and whatnot. And I actually thought to myself, okay, like there's something here. Like I think there's something here. I'm all for a brother or sibling rivalry type of story because I have siblings myself, so like I relate to that. But like you said, whoever wrote it or whoever's responsible for the story development is either just didn't care or just not good at their job because it was executed pretty poorly.
Yeah. Like, so whenever they touch on like the backstory and stuff, I liked it. I wanted them to go more into
I wanted to know more.
But they kind of just glance over it and then they're like, all right, but this is where we're at with these people.
Also, every time they talk about the backstory, Sylvester Stallone punches something.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And it was just like, dude, all right.
Yeah.
Like I even thought the whole ice cream thing and like him needing to keep himself cool was a cool.
It was interesting.
Yeah, like it was different. It's not something that we really have seen before.
And then like the way he explains like him and his brothers. Well, you don't at the time you don't know, but their powers, like they have like some weird, scientific reasoning, like almost like gamma radiation kind of a thing, where it's like it's unbelievable, but like. You're trying to make it semi-reasonable.
You're trying to bridge the gap.
Yeah.
So I like that. It just all those pieces were just kind of discombobulated and left to on their own, and all of everything in between was poorly executed, dumb, and just completely unbelievable. Like I can't even tell you how many things are just so terribly wrong with the final scene in the building while it's burning. Like, I realize that I have a different perspective because that was my job or is my job.
I mean, not being.
But even I feel like the general public should be able to understand that there's no way in hell any of those characters are surviving in those kinds of conditions.
Yeah.
At all,
especially how they portray, because it's not just like a small fire, like it is a
raging fire, and
you can visibly see it, like on the floor, like literally, where they're standing, is already on fire. Like everything else is like destroyed and burning. Everything and you can see all the effects for like the smoke and stuff, and it's like
you can literally see flames rolling across the ceiling. And in order for flames to be, we call it rollover or rolling flames, right? In order to see that in real life, the temperature of the room has to be above 1,000 degrees or so. Like the entire, because usually there's what's called a heat index, right? Where, obviously the higher you go, the hotter it gets. But in order for that to happen, flashover or rollover, the entire room has to be like 1,000 degrees. So, sure, maybe Samaritan, since he's a hero, could survive.
It makes sense for him.
But the kid was in there the whole time.
The kid makes no sense.
The kid was in there, too. And the main
just a
villain.
normal guy.
He's just a normal guy. Yeah. I couldn't. Once that the building caught on fire and it started escalating from there, at that point I was like, all right, I'm done with this. Like, I just can't. I can't get over that part. And it also, to me, was kind of it was one of those things where principles that they laid in foundation earlier in the movie, with the fact that when Slyvester Stallone's character, Samaritan, gets injured and has to recover, his body starts to heat up. And the more he gets injured, the more his body heats up. And in order to survive, he has to cool himself down. Because
if he doesn't and he overheats, he possibly dies.
Yeah, well, his heart explodes, right, is what he says. So he got ran over by a car and probably had maybe like 10, 15 broken bones and probably broken neck or something or whatever. Recovered and immediately needed to be like sprayed down with water and eating ice cream in order to survive. At the end of the movie, this dude is shot hundreds of times, stabbed, thrown off of like all kinds of different shit. Like all this thing's happening put inside the middle of a furnace, essentially. Yeah. And only at the end he starts feeling a little iffy, maybe. I get that there's a willpower factor involved, but it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense the escalation of the fact that a car getting hit by a car could potentially kill him because of that, but all of these other things that are equally, if not more, damaging to him wouldn't make him start to heat up, and then he enters an environment that's already hot.
Yeah.
I don't know. These are the kinds of things that as I was watching, I was just like, oh man, come on. Like, what am I watching here?
Yeah, that's fair.
So
I do want to say there's a scene with the main villain guy, Cyrus. Even though I think he did an okay job, he is quite literally scuffed Bane. He rips off his speech. He tries to act like
the
him.
demeanor, yeah.
And it's really annoying because it's like, I don't need you to do that, bro.
But he's not as good as Bane.
He's not nearly as good as Bane.
I don't mind the backstory per se, I guess, or just the fact that he's a underprivileged person trying to shake things up and whatnot.
That was fine for me.
I don't mind that. But I can see what you're talking about, how he's just acting very Bane-ish.
And the problem is if I took this guy and I take Bane
and you swap him.
I put them to fight each other, who's gonna win?
Oh, Bane.
Bane. Easily. Because Bane is not just a guy.
Yeah.
He's actually enhanced by Titan, and he's jacked because he's been training for his entire life to fucking kill Batman. Yeah. And you take this random dude, I get his backstory and everything is fine, I understand. Yeah. But it's you're still just a gangster dude.
Right.
And just because you broke into some...
Whoa, we'll save that because that's a whole...
stupid armory
That's
thing.
A whole thing that I'm going to talk about.
But, and you just took Nemesis's mask and his hammer.
Yeah.
That doesn't make you Nemesis.
No, I agree with that. I think that wielding the hammer... Obviously, the hammer is infused with something. The hammer does
there's some abilities.
If he were to fight Samaritan and hit him with the hammer, I would expect what did happen where the hammer affected Samaritan. That's all fine and dandy. Problem I have is once Samaritan punches that in the face, why does his face not cave in?
You should be dead.
Yeah, like
That's what I mean. Like even if you have the hammer and you get one
Yeah.
hit in, maybe because I would imagine Samaritan still like stop it, dodge it, something because he's actually genetically enhanced. Like you're still gonna die.
yeah, I could see if you were able to hit him. Maybe you had some crazy like bow staff skills or something where you can just
But he
wheels
doesn't
around
have
a
any of
hammer.
that. Like he's
But
just a
he's just some
little
gangster.
random dude.
Yeah.
Like
And then he does get hit by Samaritan multiple times, and like he does affect him. But I mean, the kind of strength that Samaritan is said to have, like he should be able to punch a hole through you. Like when he punches you, there should be a hole.
like
where his hand
they
went.
do say like, oh, he's not as strong as he used to be. But
Yeah,
like
but-
still like he literally like
Crumpled a
everything
knife
else
in his
like
hand.
just anything he touches or broke like just
Yeah, he
effortlessly.
flipped a car over
casually
on its side as he was jumping
To save a
I thought I
kid.
saved the picture, but as he was jumping, he just grabbed the side of a car and flipped over with it to save a kid. Like that. No, sorry. Like, I if that's the kind of strength that you want to have, then that's fine. But be consistent with it. Like don't just all of a sudden, oh, now that you're facing the final villain, who is just a dude with a hammer.
And see, you know what? Like, I guess to me, would have like totally fixed all of it is just you make this guy insane.
Yeah,
Like then I would understand. Like when because he every time he puts on Nemesis's mask, he's
yeah.
just
Like,
like,
you know what
like
he
it's like
reminds
he's
me
just
of?
on drugs. And like if you were like that,
He reminds
that
me of
would make sense.
Scarecrow.
Yeah, like if
from
you want to be
Batman.
almost like Scarecrow or man, what is the other guy's name from Batman?
I don't know, the Riddler,
The Riddler,
Two-Face.
the new
Oh.
Riddler.
Oh,
Like
the
he,
new
like
Riddler?
you know how
Yeah,
it's just
yeah,
like every time
You're a
he's
different
wearing
persona.
his mask, it's like
Yeah.
it's like his other identity.
Right.
That would make sense to me that he would feel this way.
Yeah.
Even though he still should just die.
Yeah.
But like I would understand like, oh, that makes sense. But the fact that he's just a regular gangster,
Yeah.
and he just every time he puts on that, he's just like, oh my god, now.
Yeah.
Like that's not how this works, dude.
Yeah. No, I do agree with you. I mean, yeah, I don't know. All right, let's talk about this whole hammer and mask thing because this was probably the first part of the movie that really turned me off to the movie. Because in the beginning of the movie, there's some stuff that happens that like, and there's some acting that I was kind of like, oh, I don't know about that, but the movie was still progressing, the story is still being developed, and I was giving it a chance. But as soon as all of a sudden this ragtag bunch of gangsters from the hood and just happened to have these military grade EMP explosives.
Well, it's not even like I mean
It's like an
it works
EMP.
like an EMP, but it looks like a
It's weird, dude.
like I don't know, like something like Batman would
Yeah.
have. Like
It's like a.
it's got like some crazy effect. Like it looks cool, but like it doesn't make sense.
It looks like it releases a million kajillion like flies or something that like zzz around and eat shit. And
I don't know. So weird. It's like a shadowy
Yeah.
effect. It's real weird looking,
It
especially
was.
for just these guys that just have.
Yeah.
On top of that, they're like, oh yeah, we just happen to have a link up to a police
yeah.
armored vehicle, all these uniforms and everything.
They get they get the vehicles, they get the fucking uniforms, they
All
take this
all
explosive.
this official stuff, and it's like, look, you could probably maybe do that, but it's like, do I believe that these people could do that?
this rag, because these guys they don't portray them as like the cream of the crop
Professional,
mobsters,
yeah, kind of
professional,
thing.
get like they are hitmen or something. They portray these guys as like your run of the mill neighborhood drug dealer, wannabe gangsters is what I get the impression of at the beginning of the movie, not like top of the line mobsters that have connections everywhere and can get whatever they need. Like that's not what I imagined, or I got the impression of. And then they roll up in these cop suits or cop uniforms in a vehicle, and they go to this evidence lockup where the police just like, here's this hammer that is like
from this like
from-
godlike
yeah.
being that was terrorizing
and you're just
the city.
You just take the hammer and his mask and just throw it in a closet and inside just a regular old evidence
with
lockup.
this one cop.
Yeah.
Is like,
are you
sitting there.
joking me? Like that, I just couldn't. When I saw that
It's
part,
like, how did they? I get that they have the uniforms and stuff, but again, you ain't fooling anybody from how you
from
look
here
from
up,
the
you got a
neck up.
beard, neck tattoos, face
Your
tattoos,
hair, like everything was just way out of place, and it's like
Which-
you should have passed. Even if it like you should have at least passed like 10 cops before
Yeah.
you got to that last one where you know
even though the last cop realized that something wasn't right.
yeah and then it's
But
like,
it's too late because they just rolled the little fucking thing in there and it just, boo. It's just like, come on, man. I
don't even think that's how that works too. Like that little tray thing.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that like the ways those work, it has to be like manually
you have
like
to.
locked and unlocked to
Yeah.
transfer things.
I'm pretty
for
sure the
safety
guy on the
reasons.
inside has to push it out to you first in
Right.
order for you to
And then you
put
can't.
something in there.
I don't think you can even push it back in until
Yeah,
the
they
person-
do. Yeah,
But-
for probably that exact reason.
Yeah, it's in case somebody wants to just drop a bomb in there.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
you know,
but this movie obviously doesn't care about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But then he goes in there and he finds the hammer and he finds the mask and
and then again, just has like a
if you had told me that was where they kept, I would be like, you're retarded. Like that's not where
like
that.
that's got to be sealed like deep underground.
Yeah, like in a bunker
with like
in
the,
the mountain.
military
Yeah.
defending it or something.
Like
I don't
in the
know,
middle of
something
Area
ridiculous.
51 or like Fort Knox or something.
Yeah.
In a vault that's like got all kinds of crazy features to keep it protected. But nah, it's just like on the side of a evidence lockup that's surrounded by a wire cage, and all you got to do is just EMP the electronics and you're good.
Yeah.
So, yeah, was not like that was the start of the demise for me. That scene, I was like, all right, I see what's happening here, and from then on, I just was like, okay, this movie is just too much already. Yeah.
I will say about Sly, it is definitely noticeable that he's old.
Yeah.
It's I can't really fault him because he's so old, but like it does bother me that when he's like fighting,
Yep.
and I know because he has like, like really bad arthritis or whatever,
Yeah.
like he just can't close his fists like all the time and stuff. But it's noticeable and it's weird because it's like if I'm gonna hit somebody, I'm not gonna like
Backhand.
backhand them, right? That's just weird.
Fine.
Unless I'm playing that. And it happens only a few times, but it's noticeable. Even the way he I still think he's great, like for like his speaking role and stuff. And he's just walking, it's fine. Or if he's just like, it's just the fighting was a little weird, but everything else to me was okay.
I don't know if you remember our trailer reaction, but that's exactly what I was afraid of. I was afraid that in the rest of the movie he would look fine, and then when it came time for him to actually fight and do stuff, that either there was going to be a crazy amount of CG that just looked unrealistic and couldn't.
Well, the CG didn't bother me except for like the twist moment, Every time they show that CG's bad.
Pretty bad.
Like you should have asked Disney for some whatever de-aging help you needed, but that was bad.
That was pretty bad.
The fighting and stuff didn't bother me. Like you can
'cause
tell, but it doesn't. It's like not to the point where it's just like, like weird. But the de-aging part, that was bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. I was pretty disappointed with Sylvester Stallone's performance. Actually, there were quite a few moments that were good, but there are also a lot of moments where I was like, dude, whoa, that's not the normal reaction you would have. Like, I don't believe that. A lot of the times when him and the boy are talking, and the boy starts getting on too touchy of a subject, he just reacts weird, not like angrily. Like it's like a mixture of anger. But like, I don't know. It was just a weird reaction, and then he never. I don't know. It was just like those kinds of reactions were just weird to me. I didn't care for it. But let's end this episode on a somewhat high note. The only good thing that kind of came out of this movie that caught me off guard. I'll 100% admit that I did not see it coming. Same. I did not know. But there was a twist.
what a twist. I do actually really like it, though.
Yeah, I thought it was a really, like, honestly, when it happened, my initial thought was like, oh, that's pretty good. Sucks that the rest of the movie was trash, because this would have been a really cool twist.
I will say there was also some moments where he does like some funny. It's kind of like a throwback to like the old school 80s action hero kind of thing with one-liners and stuff. He does it a couple times in this.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, have a blast.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. I loved it. It's real small, but I just enjoyed it.
No, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And then when it gets to the moment, the only thing I can fault on it, even though I really enjoyed it, was clearly set up, because it felt out of place in the setup, in the sense that like Cyrus was like, hey, good guy. Like, the reason why I didn't like that is because, or it was weird, is because he never said that before.
Right.
And all of a sudden now he's really
emphasizing,
which I get it.
Because he said it
up the
multiple times during the final battle
in a row.
Where he's like, "Hey, good guy, you're here."
And I would have preferred it, like it would have been fine as it is if he had mentioned it a couple times earlier
to set it up,
so that it doesn't feel so forced.
Right.
But I still did enjoy the twist.
I did.
Where he just keeps like beating on him and calling him a good guy, and I don't know why he's getting like that hurt. Like,
ladies and gentlemen, this twist is probably the best I've seen in a little while.
Yeah, because I
just wasn't expecting it at all.
No expectations of it.
So like Taylor said, Cyrus was, it actually is kind of like, I don't think it was this particular scene right here, but he was, it was a little bit later than this, because it was already during the fighting and stuff. But Cyrus was beating him up with the hammer and kind of like, kicking Sly's butt. And like Taylor said, he kept calling him good guy, good guy, good guy. And then Cyrus goes to take like one final blow and like heaves it up high and is about to do a slam.
That does like a real quick flashback while for like Sly's character, and while he's narrating, he's like, you keep calling me the good guy.
And then grabs the hammer.
Yeah, flashes to him with his brother. And this is when you realize, as soon as he stops the hammer, but he's like, I'm the bad guy. And I actually really liked it. I was like,
really
oh
liked
shit,
it too.
this is awesome. I was like, yes, let's go with this. And I was like, time for vengeance. And this is pretty much when he goes off and he just starts, he starts fighting everybody and actually knocking everybody and shit and doing all this crazy action scenes and stuff. But
yeah. It was very unexpected, and it was very good, because the scene itself was good. He grabs the hammer, says, you keep calling me the good guy, I'm the bad guy, and he like gets up and takes the hammer and starts beating people up. That is cool. But also, it, like, if you think back to the rest of the movie beforehand, you kind of realize like, oh, I mean, he really never, like, he should have known, kind of. Yeah, like he should have, because he never admitted to being Samaritan.
Right.
Like,
everything he says, he's honest about.
Right.
It's just, it's always very coincidental in the way, like, when he answers things that you can confuse it for him being Samaritan.
Right. And you just expect him to be, because obviously we gravitate
throughout
towards.
The movie, he's doing, like, good things, like he saves the kid and all this kind of stuff, helps build these, all these little things to like kind of be with the community and stuff, and he's a garbage man and everything, so it's easy to portray him or see him as being a hero like character, even though he's just really just going about his life. I mean, I guess at this point, like, you realize that he's very conflicted with himself on like what he's done and stuff. So, and it was, in the beginning of the movie, they show you the death of what we thought was Nemesis, but because they do that thing where it's like you see this event, but you never see every single detail, or it's always missing the one part. Yeah, and throughout the whole movie, they make it. They show you enough to make you think that he's Samaritan. Yeah. And then once it gets to this scene, this is when the de-aging thing comes up, because see that Samaritan is the one that falls to his death when Nemesis, which is Sly, tries to save him. and then he dies. And
Well,
then
yeah.
like you see like this really bad
Yeah.
shot of supposed to be young Sly, but it's
Right.
it's really bad.
So, the reason why he ends up like this is because, this is one of the things I wish they would have explained more, because they made it out to seem like Nemesis was just a Joker type character where he just wanted bad things because he wanted to watch the world burn,
Right.
kind of thing. Because as kids, their house was lit on fire because their community thought they were freaks and they were trying to kill them. And so their house was lit on fire. They survived, but their parents didn't. So Nemesis wanted revenge, and Samaritan was just kind of, I don't know, a good guy.
Being the
Just-
hero.
Yeah, being a hero. So then they grow up, to be hero versus bad guy. And eventually Nemesis decides that he's going to lay a trap for Samaritan at a power plant. And he lays the trap. They start fighting. Samaritan actually ends up winning because Samaritan gets the hammer and is about to kill Nemesis. Like, he has him on his knees and he's about to hit him with the hammer and kill him. But then he chooses not to. And he just drops the hammer and he starts walking away, and then he falls in, like, the floor gives out from underneath him, and then he's going to fall to his death. And Nemesis runs over and catches him because two brothers.
Two brothers.
And then that's kind of like what screwed up his that's what screwed up his head, right? Because he realized that, I don't know, he really did love his brother or whatever, and he didn't want to. And then now, because of him, his brother is dead,
Yeah.
and because of him, a lot of the world is broken. So he just stopped caring.
Yeah, he just kind of had
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he just stopped caring about everything, honestly.
Yeah. So, I don't know. It was a good twist at the end of a bad movie, unfortunately. I think, like you said, and we talked about earlier, there's a lot of pieces here that could have resulted in a really good movie. It wasn't executed well. And they didn't have the filler, or they didn't have the other pieces to get it. So, yeah, that's all I got really to say.
Yeah, that's
Everything else is just minor stuff. But, ladies and gentlemen, if you made it this far, just know that this movie is, like, it's just not really worth watching, unfortunately. If anything, well, no, because I feel like even if you just watch the last fight scene, like, you're not gonna really care, and then when the twist happens, it's not gonna be as big of a deal to you, I guess.
Yeah, I can see that.
So, yeah, I would. My advice to you is watch something else. If you made it this far in the episode, you already know everything that happens, so you don't really need to watch it. You can just take our word for it. And yeah, that's all I got to say, man.
Yeah.
Sly, I hate to say it, brother, but maybe it's time to retire. Maybe it's time to retire from action movies. Maybe go do some, like, rom-coms or something. I don't know.
Nah, don't do that.
Yeah, might demean your acting career. No, but just
stick to cameos, bro.
yeah, man. I'm sorry, dude. I love you. What you've given us throughout your career in the film industry is,
I mean, I still think you look cool. It's just
Yeah.
when you start doing some crazy things, like I get it. You're old.
what you gave to us in your film career is unparalleled, in my opinion. I don't think anybody has done what you did in your film career, but unfortunately, I think it's time to go, man. I think it's time to finish out on a high note and just be done. Don't, yeah. But I don't know. Maybe you'll surprise us.
We'll see.
Rocky 6.
Well, he can't. There's no way.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for bearing with us as we dissect this movie and talk about all of the frustrating things that happen. If you happened to watch the movie before you watched this review, let us know what your thoughts were down in the comments below. But like I said, I think this is a movie you can let slide and move on to something else. So please like, subscribe, comment, share with a friend. Check out our social media, Any Kind Cast, or Any Kind Media Cast on Twitter and Instagram. We appreciate you being here. Thank you. Catch you guys in the next one.
Give the channel back to you, the people.